All right. We are back. We are live.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, so Mr. Spirit Dude. Spiridon Dude. I am here, Bruno Romanos. How's it going? So, today you guys will give me a topic of what to draw. What fantasy character will we do? Hey, Sharta. So keep them coming. Give you your suggestions. And I think a topic, exactly, a topic. So the idea today with Mr. Spirit Dude is we'll be talking hardcover book.
Yep.
Yep.
True.
Mechanized Doom. That could be fantasized dark fantasy version. I can see that.
Lantern. Lantern.
Always. It's gonna happen at one point. Lightning Eater. Ooh. What the hell is a lightning eater? It's pretty
They
cool.
do these come from a generator or something? Is there something online where you just like press a button and they come random names together?
I think there is websites like that where you can, but I
Yeah.
think no, these are all handcrafted.
Huh.
Young fanatic priest. That's pretty cool. You deep panda. Yeah, thank you. I hate that panda topic. Hey Nefas, welcome back. I think I've done like a few pandas, right? Okay, let's see. Dice roll. Captain Bows. What's up? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 topics. Captain Bows, yeah, it's topic time. We got 4 topics out of 6. You have 1 minute or less than a minute.
How about drug addicted leprechaun?
Drug addicted leprechaun. All right, that's fine. One more.
I told you I'm really bad at this.
No. A drug addicted leprechaun. You can definitely do that into a dark fantasy topic.
Yeah.
Mutant Spirit Dude. All right.
Well, I'm already a mutant. That's kind of pointless.
It's already. Just screenshot. Done. All right, but we got 6. We got a Mutant Spirit Dude. Or do you want that to be a part of it? So it's number 1. And number 1 was...
Dark lightning eater.
No. Mechanized Doom.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Mechanized Doom. Mechanized Doom by 111. That's crazy. Sharta, so close. So close. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Hey, Janae, how's it going? All right. I think we're ready. We are ready to start the timer.
Okay.
And go. Say something. Be entertaining.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. So,
Hi.
hardcover.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going good. I mean, we're still waiting for a couple of submissions to come in, but so far the entries have all been very good. Of course, it's always kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to find the right, you know the issues that I'm having with kind of rejecting people sometimes when they come up with something new.
I think
It's
that warrants explanation for people who don't understand what you're talking
Yeah, it's true. I'm always talking. Yeah, it's so the topic of hardcover is to have something sexual in the book, something that usually gets censored on social media or wherever on American platforms. Let's put it like that. The thing is that people start not considering usual topics that are very common in art and change their behavior towards that. Means like I don't produce anything that I can't actually show on social media,
about. Mm.
which is something really bad in my opinion, because at least like let's say nude art is basically probably the first art that someone ever did was a dick pic or something. Yeah, a dick on the wall, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
And suddenly you're not supposed to do that anymore. Um, I mean, it's a shame for the dicks, of course, but at the same time, it's also a great loss because the whole spectrum of everything that is too nude for some people means that it's gone from the art world from people who might probably have done the best nude art ever.
Mm.
Um, and that kept me busy because how can I say it? Sometimes it's just great stuff that's coming there, like great stuff that is created, and suddenly it's gone. Of course, it keeps me busy, and so I talked with someone in the past, and the person was like, I'm not saying who, and they were of course again like. You shouldn't do that and don't do that, and yet that usually is what triggers me, and then I do it
Mm.
because you can't do it and you shouldn't do it is the best reason to do it. Um, in that case, when the images come in from all the artists that we have and they are great art, it's even harder to reject them because they don't fit in the topic. Because sometimes, of course, people want to be more suggestive and maybe think that a hardcore image is too, I don't know, like too straight maybe or tasteless even.
Mm.
And I get it, but not in that book. Um, it's like of course they can draw that stuff, but it makes no sense to have an image there, to have other people there in the book going full Monty, like showing everything and being totally honest with themselves and with the viewer, and at the same time others decide to go subtle about it, and while the others are exposed as the freaks, they go safe because they are afraid of something. So fear is not the topic of the book. It's about being a slap in the face. So I actually had to reject a few images that were really good art, but just didn't fit into it. And I also try to make the brief very clear many times with videos, and we went back and forth, of course. And with, for example, we have this group going, and in this group we are discussing all topics in a democratic manner. So I want the opinions of everyone to everything. Um, People who need feedback can get it also from the other people. And yeah, in that regard, we also had an image of an artist who had very good arguments towards letting everybody do what they want. Means also allow tamer images, but with time, I mean, I agreed first, but with time, it showed that this became, I would say, perversion of the of the actual reason.
Yeah.
Because I don't know any other word. Maybe another word is better, but it was just like cheating on yourself. So I felt like I betrayed myself with that, with the actual reason to do it.
Mm.
So I went back again and I said, no, we only do a hardcore stuff in some way. Like it doesn't have to be into course or stuff, but it's more about actually showing the parts that get censored somewhere else. Um, it should be all about that. This is why the book itself starts with a hashtag. It's all about the perception on social media with a topic, and yeah, like I said, it's hard. Sometimes they post images that are really good, and I'm the gatekeeper saying, nope, nope, sorry, can't do that.
Yeah, but I think I've seen a few ones that I think like shouldn't be in there. And that being said, I don't know if they are or not, but they've probably been rejected. But they're like they're beautiful paintings, but they show sensuality
Mm.
rather than sexuality.
Yes,
Uh,
that's very well put. Yeah.
and I think like we had a talk. I don't know if it was live or offline.
No, we discussed about it offline
Uh,
after last time when I was here.
yeah, and I showed a book about erotic fantasy art. I've been in by Ali Fal
Yeah.
many years ago, and that book, I think that yes, it was or is an interesting book, and you can see the difference if you look already at what's been approved by hardcover versus I don't know, like an erotic fantasy art book,
Hmm.
where it's just like sensuality and there's nudity rather than sexuality.
Yeah.
You know?
And there are many books like that already. This is why I wanted to do something else with people who usually don't do it.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and exactly, and you can see that in a lot of artists that have contributed that most likely has been rejected is that they go for the sensuality aspect
Mm.
and like I mentioned, I had discussion with one contributor to the book at THU, and that artist was struggling with hey, Marius Bata, thank you very much for the Prime subscription. Oh yeah, yeah. No, but that person was struggling with the sexuality of liking it rough, kind of, and portraying it correctly. And that artist wanted the submission was quite meek because
Mm.
didn't dare to fully express themselves.
Yeah.
And I think they should show the sexuality. And I think some artists that have contributed, which are they are homosexual. I think it's a really nice, refreshing, honest uh, expression because
Yeah.
you don't see that quite often. It's something that's hidden in that sense. You know,
It's all about that. It's all about not hiding.
yeah,
You know, I mean, it's more like if you sign up for it, you have to go for everything. You know, like pull through. Um, this is why I'm telling myself to not feel bad about rejecting these because everybody knew I put it in there, and still it's really fucking hard.
mm,
It's really hard. I mean, it gave me a few hard nights to see this art and be like, yeah, I got to think about how to deal with it because I actually want to have it in there. And there was for example one case where I said the art is so good that I will still consider to have it as a print in
mm,
the campaign, because it just doesn't make sense to not use it at all.
yeah,
But for the prints, I was going for a much tamer approach, specifically because you can hang a print on the wall,
mm,
and if it is a little bit more, like I said, tame, then there's a good chance that it's more interesting for people to have them.
yeah.
Like the one of Necro, for example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, erotica is a lot more acceptable than more explicit work.
Yeah, the book is closed, so whatever is in there is for everyone who is interested in opening it and having a look at it. But if you have a print, this one should be always exposed and always be visible. And so the approach for this is a bit different,
Mm,
and it's justified in my opinion.
yeah, I think it's interesting also as an experience of the people there. We have on Facebook we have a closed group, right?
Yeah,
Where we
yeah.
post within that group of progress of what we're doing and new submissions and so on. but we have to actually, in a closed group, we have to still censor the image. And even a lot of cases where it's already censored, people are being banned,
Mm.
which is really weird.
I was banned.
Yeah.
I didn't even make the art. I just posted a few like visuals of the interior of the book, and I got instantly banned. And I actually wrote like 2 messages to the Facebook support team because they want to ban me for 3 days, and this was during a major pitch that I wanted to make for Farah's book, you know. And they actually took off the ban, so I saved like 1 day. But they had me banned for 2 days, and at the first day, for the last day, they were like, "Yeah, it's true. It's art. It's artwork. It's not a photo, so it's allowed."
So strange.
Yeah, but their bots don't give a shit.
Yeah,
They just ban.
No, yeah, they're going on algorithms.
And if you go all philosophy on it, philosophy, then it's actually machines telling us we can't do that,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's an interesting point as well, because I know, because I was playing around with a lot of SOEs a couple of years ago, and checking what search results you get on certain search engines.
Oh, SEO, yeah.
SEO, yeah. And some things are completely just excluded from the search results by algorithms.
Yeah.
Which is really, really weird thing to see. And you would assume, like innocently, you would assume if you will search it, you will find it. Anything, with search filter switched off.
Yeah.
You should, like, innocently, you would assume you would find anything you would search for. But the search engines actually exclude things.
It's
by algorithm.
Even though you could have the argument that these are words, and even we have even autocorrect everywhere, so words make sense. But if you have something visual, it means that there is an algorithm scanning for nipples.
Yeah.
And lady parts and boy parts, and they just think like, I mean, they don't even think, they just act on an algorithm that tells them this can't be seen, and they don't evaluate if this is a work of art at all. They just see it's something that someone programmed into me that I have to get rid of, and they do it accordingly and then try to reason with them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking weird. I don't like that at all.
It's a shame when it comes to art.
Yeah.
I think in general it's great when it protects the people that needs to be protected.
Of course. But then don't have 13-year-old people on. It's the age that Facebook is allowed for. Like, you can be on Facebook when you're 13.
Yeah.
We can go to the topic now, like switch over and discuss why this is a weird age to be already on Facebook. But in general, I think it's more interesting that a company that has so much money can't employ enough people to actually do that check. Like, have an AI scan for that stuff, then send it over to someone who takes a look at it, because there's surely a lot of great content that we just lose because a machine decided we're not allowed to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's such a shame.
I understand the complexity of allowing 13-year-olds on Facebook.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't they, in that sense? If they are allowed to. But you also have to gate it somehow. And why should I have the same rules as for a 13-year-old?
Yeah, I mean, Amir is just writing it like he said. It's a collective punishment instead of blocking these images for people who are underage, though. Yeah, so I know that there are pages that, for example, evaluate the age when you enter a bank transfer or something, because this is something you can only have, of course, when you are 18, like when you're not a minor anymore. And I don't believe that it would be hard for a platform like Facebook to appreciate someone giving their more information into the website, so they can tell you like you are allowed to see certain content or not.
Yeah, it's true.
They would appreciate that, but I mean, it's not like I'm telling Facebook should be a porn site or something. Of course not.
No.
But we're talking about fucking nipples. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but that's also I think a weird cultural thing from America.
Yeah, it is.
The whole nipple thing.
Yeah.
Because in Sweden you go to the sauna, right? No one cares.
Yeah, of course. I just read like I read it about Norway, and maybe that's the things that you read about countries that are just not true. But I read about Norway, for example, that when you decide at some not a public place, but maybe at the beach, to undress yourself and put on your bathing suit or your pants or whatever, that people just look away from respect, Like I said, I don't know if that's true, but the general, like the idea that the people have been raised like that with that mindset is just astonishing and great.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I remember growing up, and like the culture of changing clothes at the beach.
Yeah.
Like I chose to kind of conceal my junk out of option. Like I don't want to, like, I'm a bit shy, I guess, when I was little. But the other kids, they just, took it all off and put it back on and then ran and swam.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that culture definitely existed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it exists anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was little, that was very common that you just changed on the beach without hiding, like going somewhere in the toilet and changing.
It's cool. It's like it should be, It sounds like an utopic thing to have.
Yeah.
Like it's at the same time feel comfortable enough to share your clothes and trust everybody that they won't just point fingers at you or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, being the person that knows how much respect someone deserves for an effort that he has to make to enjoy the sea.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just beautiful. I wish that existed everywhere, and it was a part of a mindset in everyone's culture.
Yeah, I don't believe it exists anymore, though. I mean, I haven't been on a Swedish beach.
Yeah, well, that's shit. So
yeah, I would most likely guess that it's not like that anymore.
Oh well,
the PC stuff.
Yeah, but it's like with a book like hardcover coming. Of course, it's not about respect and all that. And I realized that that a lot of people will be tipped off simply because of the topic of it. Like this shouldn't exist even. And I realized that doing something like this makes everyone involved, but maybe mostly me as the creator, a target for these people. And we know the internet is a beautiful place when it comes to that. Yeah. So this is something that of course, even though I'm trying to, let's say, like change something or make put a sign up. I am also a little bit concerned, of course. Not because I'm afraid that companies may not want to have to do anything with me. I never was afraid about that aspect. Because if a company just has a problem with nudity and the topic that we're working on, then maybe it's not interesting for me anyway. And I always thought like that. Well, for me, it's more about the nut jobs, like I don't know, like religious extremists and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it's an interesting topic. This about religion and nudity,
Oh yeah.
and I think there potentially might be a lot of backlash um, of the if people are honest with their sexuality in their submissions.
Mm.
You know, like or bondage or homosexuality or whatever kinks you have, you know, or preferences. And I think there's a lot of people who don't agree to such a kind of, I guess, liberal point of view of why is it an issue, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think it's important to show that. I think it's a great standpoint, and I
Mm.
think for me it's a clear and obvious, like, why not? You know,
Yeah.
why?
Exactly. Yeah. You said it.
But for a lot of people that it's not very clear, and I think a huge part of it is also fear of being honest with themselves, and or being honest about sexuality. Like how dare you be so uh, free, you know.
Mm.
I know a lot of people like that. Like they blush when you say just a honest thing about sexuality without being crass.
I know people who freak out when you say penis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like just the word.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, and I think that's a I think that comes like Captain Bose mentioned, like it's about sex education.
Mm.
I think it's not about education, and I think it's about like sex normalization. Like it's such a natural thing, and it shouldn't be uh, that. Yes, sex education is important because people will have sex. You know, when they are ready for it, they will have it, and knowledge is very uh, you know, it's the key to having a good experience.
Hmm.
And I think in that sense, like hardcover, the fact that people have to hide it or have to uh, not be honest. You could even see it in the artists that are brave enough to be in the book. That a lot of them are struggling with the honesty of sexuality and what they get turned on about. And that's like a cultural thing. It's like you've been trained to only show halfway kind of what you like.
Yeah, it goes further, like further in a more simple way, I think, because even if it's not about education or the world views, like Amir is saying, for example, like restrictions. So cute.
My daughter came in and
Yeah, it's okay.
1 second. Keep talking.
Of course. Yeah. So I think it's about more things than just the education and the other parts, you know, like Amir said. It's more about the simple view on the topic of looking away. If you have views that don't align with you, if you have preferences that don't align with yours, um, just don't buy the fucking book.
Mm.
Don't tell everybody else to not check it out. Um, yeah, that's what I want to say. Like people have lost the ability to look away.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's it's uh it's a very common thing that happens. I think is one thing I have a really hard time with is the keyboard warriors,
Hmm.
and that they have to be like this sensation of having feeling the need to be right, even the or feeling of the need to be to win even if they're
Yeah.
wrong. It's like just walk away. You stop having a discussion. You don't
Yeah.
need to, like, even to the point where you put someone down so that you have the feeling that you have won. It's
Hmm.
such a it's a really bad cultural thing that's happening in the last few years. It's just,
It comes down to entitlement. Someone
yeah.
believes that their views mean that another thing shouldn't exist
Hmm.
for anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrong.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
much wrong.
You put it really well there.
Yeah.
That's a very good. What's it called? You boil it down nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what was that Fenris right? Unpopular opinion here, but that came from the internet. Internet gave us the right to always speak our minds. People took that right and bent it to I have the right to always speak my mind, especially when I don't like something. But it's true.
Yeah.
See, you can speak your mind. I, I won't tell anyone to be comfortable with my book. They don't have to. They can say stuff like, "I don't like this,"
Hmm.
and I think it's wrong or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean you ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
It's not like you say
That doesn't mean the book shouldn't exist.
that's the point. Yeah, so you don't. I mean, right now with something like this, what you have, the level of stuff you have to count with are death threats.
Hmm.
Yeah, you should die
No, it's like,
because you're the worst. You look at YouTube comments. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Someone will be pissed off by something and be like, "You should be dead."
yeah, yeah,
It's who and why? What?
yeah,
It's so stupid. Uh, I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I want, and I have to face the consequences according to the law.
hmm,
That's it.
yeah, exactly.
Everything else is just views, and we should just live with it, right? Burn in hell, exactly. Uh, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we have I have these discussions with my wife very often about these zealots who just go off on something and decide for someone else how things should work out or not.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even if you write online that you decide something, it's still an opinion, sticks and stones and everything, like
Hmm.
how they say. Uh, but the moment you start stalking someone, continuously calling them and everything,
Yeah, yeah. That's crossing a border.
just
Hmm.
the worst thing ever. Because if someone did that with you because of your opinion, like if I was somebody who would be like, dude, you don't like my stuff and whatever, I will send my minions on you who are all fans of my hardcover book and they will crush you and your family, then you would be at the same situation and find it fucking unfair, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is what I think will happen with hardcover at some point because
There has a potential of that happening.
very much,
Definitely.
and I'm well aware. And maybe at some point people will be like, "Yeah, fucker, you fucking did it because I mean, you knew that it could happen and you still did it, so face the fucking consequences." But this is like, well, she dressed like that. Of course, she got raped.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That's.
Yeah, I know the problem exists. So what? It shouldn't exist. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's victim blaming.
Yeah. Yeah. And that statement also is quite absolute.
Yeah. Oh.
But I think it's important as a standpoint, hardcover, to 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 kind of claw back some realty for artists.
Yeah.
That the whole censoring is a bit weird for artists.
It shouldn't be too much about a political statement,
Yeah.
because it absolutely is already. But it should be more about the sensibility of the viewers. Like, walk away.
Yeah.
That's the whole statement, maybe.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, I think.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
It just said stop.
Time's up.
Really cool work,
Thank you.
Diesel Punk.
Yeah, a little bit. Something.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Right. I think this was. I think it's an interesting discussion.
Yeah. Was it a rant?
It was definitely not a negative rant, but definitely a rant.
Yeah. Well, I ranted about the religious people, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't negative. It wasn't putting anyone down in that sense, a rant.
Yeah.
But
I
like
should fix that.
to reclaim the word rant as a ongoing, more or less monologue of a thought, rather
Yeah.
than a negative kind of
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, let's talk about that another 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see who we can. Maybe Christopher Kant today. He's doing something. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, tits and ass. It's always tits and ass. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Right, let's rate that person.
I'll make sure to share that stream at in the hardcover group.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what the others will say about it.
Yeah. All right, let's raid a stranger, and let's see what she's doing. She's doing kind of this person, looking like she's doing traditional paint. Could be interesting. Anyways, have a good one, everyone. Thanks everyone for coming. Thank you very much, Spiridon, for joining and discussing an important topic, I think.
Thanks for having me.
Excellent. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.